In the early 1890s, in a small workshop, tucked away deep in the heart of Germany, the Federley brothers were working feverishly on their latest invention. Despite being unconventional and unlike anything the world had ever seen, the brothers knew they were onto something special. They poured countless hours into their work, determined to bring their vision to life. As they toiled away, sweat dripping down their foreheads, they carefully crafted each intricate detail of their design. As the brothers were putting their finishing touches on the firearm, they weren't aware of how iconic this clip-fed, internal magazine pistol would become. Not only revolutionary in its action, but also in its design. The C96 would go on to capture the attention of both military and especially civilian markets across the globe. Its sleek lines and unique features, such as the characteristic broom handle grip, made it an instantly recognizable and highly sought-after firearm. So today, I want to bring you guys on our first gun venture together and talk about the C96. Now first off, I want to talk about the reload. At the time of the weapon's invention, this is how you would reload your sidearm.
I open the loading gate, I bring the hammer to half cock, which will free the cylinder to move. I'm going to load one chamber, then I skip one chamber, leaving it empty, and then load the other 4. 1, 2, 3.
This is how you reload the C96. And as you could see in the last clip, it also expended bullets way faster than its counterpart at the time. See, you could shoot it really fast because this was the finalized version of the earlier 1893 Burkhardt model, which was the first ever pistol with a magazine inside of it. As you can see here, when you pull the trigger, the firing pin, essentially a little needle, strikes the round on the primer of the cartridge on the back. This ignites the gunpowder inside, causing the bullet to be propelled forward. This is how any gun works, really. The cool part is how the gun recycles its energy and does multiple things with it. It uses the force of the explosion, pushing the slide and bolt back, ejecting the casing of the bullet, and chambers a new round on the way back. This kind of system put into such a small gun? Revolutionary. Due to its design, the C96 was a better sidearm for quickly drawing and neutralizing an enemy charging at you in the heat of battle, making it a superior choice for personal defense. As a result, the civilian market was the biggest consumer of this firearm. It was highly sought after, also by famous figures such as Winston Churchill, other British officers, stuff like that. Its high cost of production, due to the intricate and complex mechanisms of the firearm, meant that it was an expensive gun to make. Therefore, it was typically carried by the wealthy officers and commanders of the time. Of course, it's not only revolutionary in the way it works, its practice, but also in its design, because the C96 is recognizable by many, and for good reason. The box-like figure of the gun gives it an incredibly professional, angled, and scary look. And more than that, the black and steel makes it an unnerving gun to face in battle. Not to mention the handle. It's utterly unique, and the handle itself has become synonymous with the gun. The broom handle. Because, well, look. Because of these easily identifying features of the weapon, the gun has seen a wide array of inclusions in many titles, both film and games. The most notable feature of the weapon is, of course, Star Wars. Han Solo carries his trusty DL-44 on his holster. Funny that the most well-known inclusion isn't even the gun itself, but just a weapon inspired by it. But that is exactly why it is well known, because the characteristics of the C96 are so unique and recognizable. You also see it included in films such as Mad Max, Joe Kid, and a heap of inclusions in Chinese films. You may think, why in Chinese films? It's a German gun, right? Well, that is because the gun, although usually unlicensed, was found in various altercations in the East, such as civil wars and rebellions and stuff like that. Other than that, because of lacking production of the Luger in World War I, around 150,000 C96s were ordered for the army. As I said earlier, however, it wasn't a weapon that was traditionally contracted for armies around the world. More like small little battles and for commanders and officers and stuff like that. Now, chances are, if you're familiar with this gun at all, you might be wondering, why hasn't he talked about the stock? Isn't the stock because the stock ruins the gun? I mean, just look. How quickly such an angelic, perfect, and gorgeous gun can be ruined by such a grotesque creation. I want to preface my opinion here with the following. I know the stock is useful. I know it makes the gun capable of firing more accurately when dealing with longer ranges, but the goddamn gun is a sidearm to me. The contrast between the blackened steel sharp corners and angles with the curvy, shiny, and light brown wood makes me utterly disappointed. I also understand how cool it is that the stock can be doubled as its own holster, and that's very unique, but I don't care. The gun is ugly with the stock. Today, the C96 is more of a sought-after collector's item, often displayed as a nostalgic throwback at firing ranges. It's a display case gun, treasured not only for its unique characteristics but also for its age. As an old firearm, such guns are not typically used regularly, but rather kept for their rarity. The same holds true for VR games, where the C96 doesn't make many appearances. When it does, it's usually in a proper historical context or in a gun range simulation game, such as H3 or Gun Club. In other cases, it may appear in a modded context. These games offer a glimpse into what it was like to wield various weapons, including the C96, and let's be honest, this gun is awesome to use in VR. You feel like a total badass, and the 10 rounds in a magazine are still impressive by modern standards. While guns like the Glock can hold 17 rounds, 10 rounds are plenty if you know what you're doing. Well guys, that about wraps up everything I wanted to say about the C96. It's a unique and iconic firearm that has left its mark on history. From its unconventional design to its revolutionary mechanism, the C96 continues to fascinate gun enthusiasts and collectors alike. Whether you're using it in a VR game or admiring it in a display case, the C96 is a true symbol of innovation and ingenuity. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history of the C96, and I hope you've enjoyed learning about this remarkable piece of weaponry. Thank you for watching.